Hey everyone, how's everybody in the side chat doing there? Oh, we got a few people there. We got Ryan's been in there for a little bit. We got Michael 58. And we got several others hiding off there in the side chat. Haven't popped their heads up yet.
Hey guys.
And we got on the panel here. Let me go ahead and check the banner here for a second, so you can see who we have. Yeah, myself here. We got Dave at Southern Ohio Prepping, aka Grumpy. Uncle Al's wandering around in the background. He'll be back here in a second. And we got Will of Just in Time Prepping. All right, so tonight's topic is about survival food. On Survival Saturday, it's your food storage, mistakes you don't want to make, mistakes that some of us have made and we've learned from them, so we're sharing that with you. And so, yeah, anybody in the side chat, if you've made, hey, Cecilia, hey, Keith.
Hey, Rustic.
And, yeah, Rustic Traditions, hey. So, what, guys, if you've made canning mistakes, had ubu-goos, had plain outright, oh, crud, I screwed that up, I shouldn't have done that, please be willing to share that so we can all learn from it. You know, the more we learn, the better off we all are. And so with that, let me go ahead and start here with this. Let's see if anybody has any. Let's take us back down here to this. So, anybody out there? Ooh, Keith, not good. Got to go back for more surgery again. Ouch.
Sorry, buddy. I'll send a prayer your way.
That's too bad, Keith.
Hey, Jake.
All right. So, anything that you guys have had happen to you in your prep, Uncle Al, Will, Dave, who wants to start first?
I haven't made any mistakes yet. See what it is yet.
Well,
I admit, I'm not canning because I don't have a canner, so I can't actually make mistakes if I don't have one.
You can make storage mistakes.
Yeah,
Hey,
here.
Rich.
I had two mistakes. I made my preps too heavy and not mobile. Because first house I had a root cellar. It doesn't work too well if you have 15 feet of water, flood water, going through your property.
Oh.
All that food that I stored, my flood insurance did not cover it. Because I didn't list my food storage as an itemized item. That's when I went to what's Gil's always doing, and that's coming up later. I didn't have it. I said, I have all this food in the root cellar, and they just look at me. You don't have it listed. You didn't insure it. It's not part of the house, and we're not going to cover it. So think about it, folks. And my second one was I had a stroke. It was my first stroke at my second house, which burned down in a forest fire. But I wasn't too happy with that either. It's always fun when you're going loading stuff into a truck.
Yeah.
Well, that actually depends on your definition of fun. I don't see that as being a whole lot of fun, but hey, you are crazy, so.
Yeah, true.
Wild and crazy guy. Yeah.
I made a mistake once. I didn't lock my preps up.
Ooh. How much did you lose?
I don't know, about 3 or 4 months. People using out of them and not letting me know.
Yeah.
I put a lock on them.
Yeah.
I told you, you ain't supposed to hide the Twinkies and Ding Dongs inside that trailer. They're going to find it. But you didn't listen to me 2 years ago. You just went ahead and did it anyway.
Yeah. Some of those people can smell Twinkies a mile away.
So if you got people in your house that are apt to kind of look around and see what they got to munch on, you don't have them secured, you may want to think about the same issue I had and put a padlock on them.
Hey, Brett and Cindy.
Hey, Brent and Cindy, Tennessee living. Okay, yeah. So yeah,
I'm going to add
I guess
just one caveat real quick. Just one small caveat.
okay.
For the folks that are new to this kind of stuff, take the information you're getting and use it sparingly. Do not try to go out and buy everything all at once.
I know.
You're going to have a busted up credit card, a crappy poor social score, if that's what you want to call it, because anymore that's what they all use anyway, is your credit score. And you're going to be overloaded and you're going to get lost in your preps.
Yeah, you're going to get burnt out.
Please.
Very easy to get into or out of.
All right, so I would say probably Uncle Al's biggest learning point is check with your insurance company, find out what they need to make sure all your food storage is insured in case if there's a disaster or, break-in, theft or whatever. Get it, make sure your food storage covered, because right now you may only have like a month or 2 or 3 or 4, but when you get down the road and all of a sudden you realize you got like 2 years worth of food storage down there, you're looking at several $1,000s. Hey, Kathy.
She should come up here tonight. I bet you she's got a story or 4 to tell.
Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
We have an invitation for you. If you want to come up here and share some of your knowledge about food storage, the good, the bad, the ugly,
A blooper or two.
Exactly. Tell you what I'll do is I will put there's the link down there in the chat. Right. Come on now.
Hey, McCoy.
Okay. Jake says I'm just going to put that up here. Boom. Throw it. Oh, over salting them. Oh, ouch. Yeah. Half an hour would be fine, Kathy.
We'll still be dredging up dark history stories of everybody. So
yeah. Hopefully everyone has some stories to share of ubugoos and things that have gone south on them and lessons they've learned about food storage, whether it's commercial food storage or home canning or whatever. And let me throw this back up here again. So, and go to the next slide. So here's a couple of good looking slides here of what stuff looks like. That's, good storage shelves, but come on, mouse, work. There we go. But here is some ubugoos. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and this slide was on suggestion from Dave. He suggested I get some ubugoos and put them up here so everyone can see. Oh yeah, stuff does go. Now I noticed what's interesting here. 2 things right off the bat jump out at me. First is back up.
Wrong button.
It automatically go forward. All right, the bottom left here, the pull top can. Never ever plan on storing pull top cans more than 6 months beyond their expiration date, because that may be the best use by date for the food inside, but the can's going to go shortly thereafter, because right around the seam here on top here, where it pulls and breaks loose, that metal is thinner there, and it's a chance of rupturing and popping, and that is the weakest spot on the can.
I've got two favorites in them. I got two favorites. See, I've actually got those mandarin oranges in my cupboard, and I do believe, at least one can of Hunt's paste. So now I'm not telling y'all if you got those pictures from me or not, but I do have that stuff in my house.
I wasn't going to say I broke in. Okay, because this is a favorite of ours, the Hunt's different tomato spaghetti sauces, different sauces and stuff. But if you look at this can down here on the bottom of the trio there on the left, this can's upside down. It was the bottom that bulged out and turned over on it. And this top one up here, they dated their food good, but I'm not sure how long they waited until it went bad. And then, of course, on the left here, we have home canning, where jars were filled. This looks like the jars were just filled too full and it bubbled out. So these lids will never seal. They got to either recan that stuff or use that quickly. Down here, you have a can. You can see the lid here. The ring is still on there, and the lid still is bulged up there and popping out.
Yeah, it also deals with you got to be careful on your storage areas for canned foods. It has to maintain gill. I forgot what temperatures for canned foods, premium temperatures to store at.
Yeah.
In the 40s, ain't it?
50s to 60s is good.
Right. It can't freeze.
Just like in a root cellar.
Right. It can't freeze or get too hot.
Yeah.
A cool, dark spot.
All right.
Basement.
Yeah. So, Cecilia asked, would you recommend to remove all canned goods to pressure canning? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that.
She means getting rid of all store-bought canned goods and just doing your own home canning.
Not necessarily, because sometimes
hey, Howie.
the time you're going to expend in canning certain things, and the way you can pick them up sometimes on sale, like at Winco or Walmart or something else, the cost of your time and the cost of everything, sometimes it's not worth it, especially if you're running through the food within a year.
Yeah.
Or 2 years.
You're using like the regular can. They have expiration dates on them. Those are guidelines. As long as you inspect the cans, make sure there's no bulging like the cans on the picture here, no rust showing or any punctures in them. Should be just fine in the cans they come in.
Right. I think Celia was asking if remove the product from the can and can it into a smaller can. You could do that with the number 10 can, which I always buy from restaurant supply store, and recanning it to a smaller container, a mason jar. That'll work fine.
Yeah. Sometimes you get the the stuff in the big cans on sale, and you get it really, really cheap, comparison wise.
I tell a lot. Go ahead, Gil.
I was looking at it down here. McCoy said that they needed to move their canned goods from where their grandparents originally had it. It was too warm.
Sure. But a lot of things with the big number 10 cans, you can pick it up at a bulk food store, or you can pick it up at restaurant supply store, which I have both in my town. And I always go there to pick up the big bulk stuff and recan everything.
Okay, so cycle, buy new, use the older. Yeah, so basically it's called first in, first out. So the first thing you buy is going to be the first thing you use. So when you buy a whole bunch, you're using the older stuff, which is the first stuff you got.
Hey,
Ryan, that is rotate your food. Hey, Howie, Food Forest Permaculture's here.
And Rolling Homestead.
And Rolling Homestead Wild Edibles. in Wisconsin, and there was someone else up there I saw snuck in. Let me scroll back up here. Micro homesteaders. Hey. All right. So yeah, as you can see, if you don't keep track of your cannons and stuff properly, don't just put it away and forget about it.
Hey, Lou.
Because that's what this happens. Hey, Lou. Remember, everyone, I'm going to give you a big secret right now. Let me go back to this other screen here.
Secrets.
Yeah. This right here is your best friend when it comes to can. Here, let me go ahead and put it up full. This is your best friend right here, a Sharpie.
No, it's not for sniffing either.
Oh no! Oh no, man! Oh man, no.
Also, another tip.
Because if you notice right here, just a second, Al. At least they marked some of them, but they weren't inspecting their cans all the time. Go ahead, Al.
Okay, I agree with you with the Sharpie thing, but here's another tip: do not put anything on hard concrete.
Oh man, definitely no.
I've seen so many videos with people piling their food on hard concrete that like it's canned and you put it in a box on hard concrete. Nobody does that. Well, I know a few people that do it. Don't do that, please.
Yeah.
The box will rot and then your cans will rot.
Yeah, and it'll rot. And if you get and the thing is, the concrete, unless it's got sealed on the bottom or it's sealed on top, it will have moisture come up through it in the wintertime, and it just devastates stuff. Now I'm going to vary here right now
my
because
living room floor is perfect testament to that.
Yeah, I'm going to vary right here on something that Uncle Al said and take it to a side level here. Water storage. If you get the water in the 5 gallon, the 15, 30, or the 55 gallon food grade blue barrels, don't put those on the concrete. Even though it's food grade plastic, it does a chemical reaction and it soaks the lime or the other chemical that's in concrete. It'll soak it through the plastic and taint the water. All right, that is how water can go bad, is when it's tainted. Otherwise, it just goes flat, and you just need to aerate it.
I want to answer a question real quick.
Sure.
Cecilia says, what's the best way to keep pasta? There's 2 ways. One is to just straight up freeze it for a couple of days and then stick it in a Mylar bag and seal it with an oxygen absorber, or cook it, dehydrate it, then put it in a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber. Personally, I prefer the latter way, but that's just me.
Yeah. But anybody then having a freeze dryer costs a couple $1,000s.
That's a dehydrator. Dehydrator.
Yeah. Oh, dehydrator. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And there's several ways you do it like that. Like you say, you freeze it. That kills any bugs that are in it from the store. You can get a big tote. Put those boxes of pasta in the tote, and especially have one of the totes that seal. You get one that has a rubber gasket on it and seal it down, so at least it keeps more bugs from getting into it. Another way is you get the 5 gallon buckets that have the rubber gasket on them, put it in there, seal it. And then, Mylar bags, is obviously another way you can seal good. The only thing I don't like about Mylar bags is accidental punctures. It's a lot easier to puncture a Mylar bag accidentally than it is a 5 gallon bucket.
You're not supposed to pay, what do they call that? Board game where you throw bags.
Okay. All right. What about cats? Cats like to claw.
Yeah.
She's in heat again. Anybody want a cat for free?
First, let me say hello to Bob the Metal Guy, and I think the second star that came in.
Second star survival. Hey, guys. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to store stuff.
Well, it depends, Lou. Do you want to grow a couple extra legs and a horn out your head? If you do, go ahead and spray.
Yeah, and if you really want to run the risk, Lou, use Roundup.
There you go.
Is there a class action suit against Roundup?
Yeah, there's a lot.
There is.
Oh,
let me
God.
That
hit
was just a
Cecilia one
joke,
more time.
folks. Do not spray your food with Roundup. That was just a joke. Do not
Yeah.
spray your food with Roundup.
Cecilia, there are budget-friendly dehydrators on the market. I picked up the one I have. It's a Weston. It's $100, and it's got the fan in the back, not on the top or the bottom. It's got the fan in the back, so all trays get an even flow of air back and forth. If you go through my food playlist, I show several pictures of it in there in the videos. So that would be the one I would recommend. Although the cheaper ones do work, you just have to rotate your trays around, and they take a little bit longer.
Okay, guys, in a couple minutes here, I'm going to give it another probably about 5-10 minutes. I got a special presentation within this presentation to do, but we're rolling along here, and I want to touch on some other key points here. A couple other channels, good channels to go to and check out. The number one would have to say Pennsylvania Prepper. She's been doing a lot of good stuff on her food storage and stuff, and she showed what happens when you store the cans in the wrong room. She had some cans stored in her laundry room, not realizing that the moisture in the laundry room from the dryer and the hot water in the washing machine and stuff would be affecting the cans. And so she had several cans, a bunch of cans of fruit start getting the rust. They hadn't ruptured. They were just getting rust on them. So she had a freeze dryer. She took them out, put them on the freeze dryer. She freeze dried all her pineapple and other stuff like that. She had those cans. So she had a video on that. It was really good. Made my mouth water. I wanted some of that dehydrated pineapple because that's like
that
candy.
stuff is awesome. Yes.
Oh, man.
Brent and Cindy brought up a question. Storing in mason jars. There is an oven method of storing stuff like pasta in there. I don't recommend it personally, mainly because I haven't tried it and I can't verify personally that it's a safe way to do it.
Okay. Something my mom used to do, and I think my grandmother was even doing it too. They got hold of some, back in the day, Tupperware made these really cool, about 8-inch square pizza, spaghetti length, Tupperware containers. Mm-hmm. And so they would freeze the spaghetti or freeze the macaroni or whatever it is, and then fill these up. And they, Tupperware has that burp lid on it. When it's sealed, it was sealed. And so once they freeze it for a week to kill any bugs in it, they put it in there, and it's good. Nowadays we have a little thing we can add to it: oxygen absorbers. So we can throw an oxygen absorber and seal it. Any type
go
ahead.
I was just going to say, one thing to remember too is if you're doing pasta, what does pasta like? It loves a lot, but it really likes one thing.
It likes moisture.
Exactly. Put a moisture absorber in it as well.
Yes.
That's my fault for not saying it earlier.
Yeah. One oxygen, one moisture absorber. Let them work together. Give it a 1-2 punch. Yeah. So, there's so long as Tupperware or any of the new off-brand ones that have a really good, tight, airtight seal, you can store your pasta, all your different pastas in those. Now, my mom also used to store macaroni. She had these, they weren't full gallon size, they were like 3/4 gallon size jars with a flap jar lid with a rubber gasket on it and the lockdown. She used to store macaroni in that as well. So there's a lot of things you can do on that for storing your pasta. Pasta actually is probably one of the easiest things to store because once you have in the proper container, and you have the oxygen absorber and the moisture absorber in there, I have not heard anyone having a problem with it in a proper container for years and years. And every now and then, like Walmart has it on sale for 75 cents a pound. Stock up.
Yep.
All right. Let's see anything else here. Okay, so we got all that. All right, so I'm going to go over to my other side here. Let me pull this down on the side. Escape. Drop that down. And bring up here. Okay, everyone, get out. If you have a piece of paper and a note and a pencil, out. Now's the time to get it out. If you're on your computer, bring up a small Word doc in the corner so you can still see, but you can type notes here.
I don't think
All right.
this is the right kind of pen.
No. Not unless you're
This
really,
is not the right side of pen.
not unless you are really good and you can carve it in your arm.
This is an S pen. It won't write on paper.
Yeah. Okay, so let me bring this up here. All right. Actually, I'm gonna blow this full tilt, guys. So if you want to step out for a second, we got about 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, so you can go through this.
Yay! Oh,
All right. So an Excel spreadsheet is probably the best thing you can use for your food storage to keep you from making mistakes and having food go bad. Now, I don't know how well you can see it, but it says tabs. I got different tabs here. I got index, meals, canned, metal, canned bulk, canned home, dry. Down at the bottom, I have tabs, index, meals, canned metal, canned bulk, canned home, and dry. So these are things you set it. You can set tabs up. Now watch. I'm going to add another tab down here. I'm going to go over to the last one. Go over on this page here. Go over to the last one here, and I am going to add another sheet. I just move the sheet. I can drag the sheet over to the back here, down at the bottom here. So you can move the sheets into any order you want and put it, change the order on them. Okay, let's go to the second tab, which is meals. Probably one of the, you can go out, and we're going to talk on this in some detail here as soon as I'm done with this, about the mistakes of bulk buying food in kits, or what do they call the 1 year package, or the 6 month package, or the 4 month package, or the 2 year package. So we're going to talk about that is not a good way to do it, because you wind up getting foods you don't eat. Hence the saying, store what you eat what you store. Don't store stuff you're not going to eat. All right. So what I have here is a spreadsheet showing meals, and then the different things that go into the meals to make it up. Now, if you notice, when I go to scroll, I lose that top head banner. Here's something you can do. So write this down. Up on top here, you got little tabs going across. The first one it shows up as always on home. Then it goes to insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, and view. If you click on the view, and then I come over here and I click the row below it here. So I'm highlighting the row below the top row. And then I go over here where it says freeze panes and freeze top row. So now when I scroll, hey, the top row stays in shape, in place, and everything else goes by. And this will be important when we get to one of the other tabs here. So make up what are the meals you eat the most and you like the most. Put that information down in here. Put what ingredients you need for those, because these are the different ones you're going to need to store. If you notice here, you got like pork and beans canned versus or fresh. If you're going to make it yourself, if it's canned, for the meal you have pork and beans, you got bread and butter you have with it. For here you got chunk pork, the white beans that go in it. Oops, let me do this. Copy that, paste that right there, and then whatever else you're going to need to make your pork and beans, whatever spices or seasonings.
Brown sugar.
What was that?
Brown sugar.
Seasoning, brown sugar. Brown sugar, whatever else you need to put in there to make it, and then to make the pork and beans, and then whatever you can have with it for the meal, and you put all that on there. This is what you use to determine what you need to store. How you store it comes into the next one. Let's go down to the next tab, which is canned foods in metal. Now, so same thing I do is see it scrolls past. So I got multiple tabs up here I need to control. So once again, I highlight the row beneath it, freeze pane, freeze top row, and there we go. And I just listed the can sizes that's down on my daughter's shelf. These are all the different can sizes and ounces down there. Okay, and like the evaporated milk comes in a 12 ounce, the tuna comes in a 5 ounce, tomato paste comes in a 6 ounce, and you can, as you store them, you put in how many you have in there. Now, every time you use something, yeah, you're going to need to add, you need to subtract, and you buy more, you're going to need to add to that number. Now over here, you notice this column's empty. If I go over to this next one page, it's there. I'm going to show you how to do this numbering really simple. So the first one here, let me go back here to home page because I need to make sure I am centered for the column. So I've centered everything up here. So it's centered. I put a 1 in and I hit enter. Goes down to the next one. Now this one here, I put the plus sign, click on the one above it. See, it puts the number here for the column and the row. So A2 puts that cell. Then I do plus again and 1. What that's going to do is that's going to take the A2 and add 1 number to it. Turns it to a 2. You go, why I go through all that? Because watch this. I copy that formula and I come down here, highlight, hit enter, and it pastes it down in there. And each one, it jumps up, it continues on. So this gives you your item numbers for if you need to label your items or however you do it out in your pantry or wherever. So this is one way to do to track it here. And then you put your quality of cans. I think she had like 36 cans of tuna down there. Now, if you don't want it over the side, you want to keep it centered, highlight the row, click the center, and it centers it. And you put notes about it, whether if you have several cans, different types of tuna, one could be bumblebee, one could be white albacore. You know, you can put on it. Oh, hang on, let me bring Kathy in here. She's down here. So Kathy's on here. Hey, Kathy.
Hey, everybody.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to this for a second here, and we're going to finish this off real quick. So do that. Now the next tab is bulk, and you can buy. Let me go back over to bulk foods here. It comes in the number 10 cans, which we'll show you some pictures of here. That you can actually get professionally prepared 3, 5, and 7 gallon buckets. Where the buckets, you'll take the plastic lid off, and it's got a foil seal on it. They filled the empty airspace in there with nitrogen, and you'll probably find some oxygen and moisture absorbers in there at the same time. And then you put the quantity you have of those. Canning at home, same type of thing. You got quarts, up to gallons. We actually canned stuff in gallons before. I added this column here because you should put the date of your oldest canned food in there, so you are reminded to use that one first. Remember, that's where your permanent marker comes in handy, is marking it. And the next sheet here, I got instant rice, 7-pound box, 7 pounds comes in a box. White rice, 25 pounds comes in a bag. Brown rice, 5 gallons. It's in a bucket. It's in a bucket with a gamma lid on it. One of those screw on and off lids that have a gasket on it. Wheat, 50 pounds in a bag. Barley, 25 pounds in a bag. So this is how you can do with your notes and stuff. This is just an idea. You don't have to do it exactly this way. Find the way that works best for you. So with that, let me go back over here and pull everybody back up here. Get Kathy in here, and let me drop that out of there so I'm ready for my next little bit over here.
Okay, I'm going to throw something out there real quick. Hopefully it doesn't flat, but I've seen Second Star's comment about pemmican. Yeah, that is a good superfood, like Howie says, and it does have longevity to it, but there's one thing a lot of people don't think about when they prep, especially when it comes to your food. You need a very diverse stock. You don't want to eat the same thing day after day, because eventually not only are you going to get tired of eating it, your body's going to get tired of eating it. And it will actually not use the nutrients in that food anymore. It's just the same as if you decide to go fasting for a week and then try to gorge yourself, your body's going to put every bit of that into fat storage because it thinks it's still being starved. Okay, so you need a very diverse pantry of foods. No, don't just stock up on one type or another. Pick out several different types that you like. Make sure you like it, and then eat it. Because don't store stuff you don't eat. Because the first time you go to eat something that you've never eaten before, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be making the 50-yard dash to the outhouse by Willie Make It.
And illustrated by Betty Won't.
Exactly. So always eat what you store what you eat. Shut up now.
Okay. Now, like Dave just said, you want to have a diverse diet menu. Well, that was the object of that first page where it listed all the meals. Make a list of the meals you like. Figure out what it is. Don't just go out and blindly buy from one of these canning companies out there. You know, the buckets and the cans and stuff. Just don't go buy their. Oh, this is the 1 year supply worth or the 6 months. Don't just go and buy it blindly because you may find there's a lot of food in there you don't like. So,
all right. Hi, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Hello.
All right, Kathy.
Yes.
What are some of the mistakes that you've made or you've seen other people make in doing their food storage?
I think, again, the biggest thing, just to reiterate what you said, was that we tend to want to store like everything that we can find, you know, whether we're going to eat it, whether we like it or not. And it's like store what you eat and then eat what you store. But when I first started canning over 25 years ago, I was like growing all kinds of things just to be able to grow and then canning everything up. And like 10 years later, a lot of those jars were still sitting on my shelf and they were starting to lose their seal. They were rotting. They were, you know, and just, so there was a lot of wasted food, a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted effort, a lot of wasted growing. So those are the things that I learned along the way, so that it's like, I know what my diet is. I know what I need to eat. I know what the people that I could possibly need to be cooking for would be eating. And so I just kind of really focus on that. And so that's what I focus on, the garden and canning and all that kind of stuff. As far as storing other things, seasonings are really huge too. I know Tyler Woods talks about that too, but you guys kind of mentioned that a little bit too, but it's okay. So you have all these beans, you have all this rice, you have all this pasta and everything and tomato sauce and everything. But if you don't have the seasonings that are going to make it enjoyable or flavorful, you're just not going to want to eat it. It's going to be just bland and blah and everything. So if you're a person who, obviously you need a lot of salt stored anyway. So you're going to have salt, but have some pepper, have Italian seasoning, so you can, goose up something with that. And those you can buy in bulk. You can buy, huge amounts if you need to. And those are easy to store. Like my Italian seasoning, I will put in like a half-gallon mason jar and put an oxygen and a moisture absorber in there, as well as dry seal it. So I vacuum seal that. And so it's like going to be good for a long time. Other seasonings, if you're into hot sauce or cayenne peppers or, ginger or different things like that, store those up and seal them up as tightly as you can. Just don't go and buy the plastic jars and expect them to still be flavorful in 3 years, because they do lose their flavor even sitting on the shelf after a while. So you want to store them really, really well. So I would say the biggest thing was that I just canned and made a bunch of stuff that I didn't even use, and it just went to waste. And after cleaning out all my shelves, some of them even went like 15 years. And so I ended up having to throw everything out, the jars, everything. And just because it was a risk, I didn't want to just dump the stuff out and still have a possibility of botulism that was hanging around or something. So that again was an expensive waste. So anyway, I would say other ways getting the canned foods that are in the store. You're showing the pictures of them and everything. I've actually seen And I think one of them that goes the quickest are canned pineapple, because of the nature of pineapple. It's so acidic, and that it's it will just eat. It will literally eat right through the metal if it goes beyond expiration date. More than a few months or something like that. So you just have to really be careful with canned pineapple. I like the point that you guys made about dehydrating the pineapple and having that stored up. That's really, really great. So dehydrating is a perfect way of storing a lot of things. Any other questions or comments?
How about the spices, Kathy? Can you dehydrate those and then vacuum seal them so that they stay longer?
The spices, I grew some paprika and some cayenne peppers last year, and I did dehydrate those, so they're all dried, and I'll grind them. And right now they're just vacuum sealed in a jar, whole, so that actually the flavor will stay in a lot longer that way. But I have prepared a lot of packages of seasonings, and I have those that I am able to put in a Mylar bag and seal up. I will do that. Put an oxygen absorber in it. I make them really small. I've actually kind of made my own size Mylars, because if you put 1/4 of a cup of seasoning in there, or even 2 tablespoons, that's going to go a long way.
Long ways, yeah.
And you want to have a lot of smaller packages in that way, because if you open up a pint jar of cayenne pepper, you're not going to use that within even a year, probably.
And the air gets in there, right?
Right, and it will go. It doesn't go bad, but it loses its flavor after a long time. So seal them up, whether they're food saver bags or Mylar bags, whatever. But do put oxygen absorber in it and a moisture absorber in it, and seal them up. And then what I've done is taken a lot of those smaller packets. Let's say I have maybe 6 or 8 of 2 tablespoons or even 1/4 cup of seasoning. I will take those and put them then into a quart-sized Mylar bag and seal that up really good. And
I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, so I'm double sealing in that way, as well as I've got these. They're 2-gallon square buckets with the white ones with the
little screw-on lid.
Right, the food grade ones. So then I will take those double packed seasonings that I sealed up and put those in the bucket, and then tuck those away. So I'm pretty confident that those are going to last a long time.
Good. That's what my question was. If you put them in smaller bags, could you just bunch them up and put them in something like a jar or a tub?
Yeah, you could put them in a jar too. But yes, Leanne, I agree too. It's better to dry a lot of those things whole and then grind them as you need them. That's what I have for cinnamon. I've got a whole bunch of cinnamon sticks that I've got in a jar that's all sealed up. And I also I put those in Mylar bags too. And with those, because there's no, I did this over a year ago. I can't remember if they're in a Mylar bag or a food saver bag, but I've got them. Cinnamon sticks are easy to totally take out all the oxygen out of them, so to vacuum seal them. When you're starting to get into powders, they don't vacuum seal because it sucks all the powder out and everything. So,
Yeah.
so that's a little bit of a challenge. That's why I put them in small containers and sections, and put an oxygen absorber in there too. And then that's the best I can do with that. And just double and triple seal them if you need to.
I'll let you know how it goes at the end of the summer.
Okay, first I gotta say hello to Second Star. Hello, Second Star.
Hey, welcome to the panel.
Welcome to the panel. And also, other than most preppers, me and Gil is the only one that has barley. Do anybody knows why you have barley?
Barley is one of the
You gotta
good.
have it to make beer.
It's like an antimicrobial thing that helps your immune system.
It may have a
Nope.
little bit of that property, but that's not the main reason.
Oh,
Uncle
No,
Al,
no.
go ahead and explain, Uncle Al.
Okay. Everybody heard berry, and everybody heard what happened in South Carolina during the 20s. It's part of Japan ate a diet, but it ate a dry food diet, and they like polished rice because brown rice was commoner folk. And the trouble
yeah.
with brown rice was it doesn't store well if you're going on long military campaigns. They had everything else. They had the rice and beans and all that, but they lost more men in the first two wars of the Japanese Empire than people shooting at them. They were keeling over because of beriberi. I forgot the other one. What's the other disease, Gil?
Scurvy.
No,
Yeah.
that's C.
No, but you can still get scurvy on land too.
Right, but that's vitamin
Yeah.
C. No, for barley, it covers another one.
Yeah.
The Jewish doctor discovered in South Carolina, you can't live on a diet of cornbread and squash. It doesn't work as well.
No. Yeah. Barley helps out on a lot of different things like that. It has the antioxidant. It has more antioxidants than other grains. But in the question here, answering rustic traditions down below here. Once you vacuum sealed your jars, you can freeze them. But I like to put the stuff in the freezer first beforehand, before I can them up. All right, so pull this. So what? Side chat here. Just checking any of the quick comments, or whatever. Okay. All right. One quick thing here. Two things that were mentioned in the chat here. Before I want to touch back on them. Storing flour. I had to go back, and then after someone posted a thing about storing flour. I believe it was McCoy's that said, keep stuff whole and grind it later. Yeah, we had back in 1971. My mom bought a whole bunch of canned goods from a real good company that unfortunately they got marketed out and went out of business 5 years ago, called Sam Andy. She had flour in the number 10 cans, and she had wheat in the number 10 cans. Well, when my wife and I got married 30 some odd years ago, we got a bunch of the cans from after my dad died a year later. We got a bunch of the cans from my mom. She said, here, you got more room, you store them. Well, we cracked open one of the cans of flour. Nasty. Yeah. The flour picked up the tinny taste of the can, so much so the only thing that was good for was making paste. The wheat, the whole wheat that was in the can was fine. It didn't pick up the flavor at all from the can. So if you want to store flour, get yourself a flour mill and store the wheat. If you're going for long-term storage, it'll last longer. I don't care. Even if you freeze the bags of flour and leave them in the freezer, they'll pick up taste. Second, sorry, you had something to say about that.
Yeah, I've learned, because I live here in Central Texas and everything. The heat is so bad with the flour that it starts collecting mold on it when you store it. But I found a Army surplus dealer that had the old Vietnam. It was kind of like a plastic lined barrel that they used for food storage in Vietnam. And if you store it in those, it has a I don't want to say another channel's name, but there's another channel out there that did a review on these types of tins where it had a humidifier kind of release on it, and it'll release the heat and everything out of it. And I found those are the perfect thing to keep flour and wheat and everything in if it's already processed. If you get those big 25-pound bags, that's the best thing for me in Texas. So, I mean, I haven't had any molding problem or anything on it, or where it gets that rank taste afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, but
Yeah.
that's the problem I have where I'm at. Yeah, those things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, these you can find. I can find these all over the place. Different companies are picking those up.
Yeah, those things are amazing. They have a release valve. They also have like a temperature gauge on it. It tells you if it's getting too hot, or anything like that. So, I mean, that's the way I go with it. And I only have a small, like 8x10 room to do my food storage in. So I don't really have that much space, and I only have like two of those barrels.
Yeah.
But sorry, Gil.
Dave.
Sorry.
Okay. I didn't want to interrupt, but I had to answer the door. I would have tried a second ago. Going back to freezing jars in the freezer with food in it. No.
Well, he's talking about powder.
No. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
What happens is when you freeze glass, when you pull it out, it starts to condensate. Everything inside there is now ruined. You've added a foreign moisture to what you're storing. And this is going back to the 70s when my mom canned. It's one of the few things she always told me, never stick glass jars that you're using for canning for anything inside the freezer because it will condensate. It'll cause the metal to rust and your food will be spoiled faster than you can shake a stick at it.
So, my mom always used, when she did something like that, she always had the moisture absorbers she tossed in there to get all the moisture out first.
But once you pull it from the freezer out, it's going to condensate on the outside of it, and it's going to get on the metal, and it'll go up
on the outside. Yeah, on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ryder just has a comment here. So yeah, if you pick out a room, get a small air conditioner, like a window air conditioner, and that way you can keep it cooler. It should help your preserve your flour better. Possibly.
Yeah, I tried all that,
and it didn't work.
Yeah, well, it's Texas. I mean, we can get temperatures from 98 at minimum all the way to like 110. And it's not just that, but we also, for such a dry state, we also have a lot of humidity out here too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not just a dry heat. It's both.
Is it humid?
Yeah, because it comes up from the Gulf.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, even I have a huge fan in the room that's constantly going. I have a wall AC in there, and you could still walk in there in the middle of summer, even in the middle of spring, and you can break a sweat in there. Yeah. I mean, it's just battling the elements on it.
Yeah, I know Anthony complains about that too down there in Carolina.
I have a suggestion for your room. Get two small fans. They're, I don't know, about 8 inches round. They're about 2.5 foot tall.
The box fans?
No, these are just regular Walmart cheapies. They're like $15 in the spring when they come out.
Oh, okay.
Set one up in the corner. Try and aim the air vents for your AC to the first fan and have that fan blowing toward the other corner with the other fan so that you're making kind of like a triangle with the air. That'll actually cool that room off another 6 to 7 degrees, and will also help reduce the humidity on your hotter days.
Okay, I'll try that. Like
my bedroom in the summertime,
circulation idea or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I have to have multiple fans in my bedroom because these apartments suck.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, I want to address a couple things here in the side chat real quick here, guys. About the freezer. So Rustic Tradition talked about their flour that they put in the freezer tastes like the limes because they had limes in there. Yeah, anything in the freezer, even though you wouldn't expect it, but the vapor flavoring, whatever, it transfers through everything. It gets through everything in there no matter what. So you don't want to put strong smelling stuff like limes in there, lemons. We did try doing lemonade one time in little cubes, and we put them in a Ziploc bag. Everything smelled like lemonade. When you
onions will do it too.
Yeah. And when you put like the paper
Oh,
bags
yeah,
that
yeah,
corn
especially
flour
green
was
ones.
in,
Yeah.
when they pulled it out, they started to get condensation on the outside of the bags. What we've done to when we pull flour bags out to keep it from getting condensation on it, we'll turn the oven onto warm. So it's just like the lowest setting on the oven, and we'll put them in there for an hour. That way, it keeps it from condensing on the surface of the bags, and keeps it and helps and dries it out. And then once it's dried out, then you can package and stuff. But generally, as far as like putting flour in the freezer and stuff, we'll only get like a couple bags at a time. The 10-pound bags. And so we may stick it in there, get it freezing and out again, but we don't put like 20 bags in there or whatever, have a bunch of it, because for us the flour lasts a bit of time. And if we really want to take care of it, we can just put it into one of those Tupperware containers or other similarly designed containers that will seal all the air out and keep it from picking up other flavor, because flour just loves to pick up flavors.
It's a sponge.
Yes.
Cecilia, if those jars that you're referring to have a seal of some sort, if they got that little rubberized seal on the top and they're latched down, then those would be good for long-term storage for spices.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Classical. Oh, she's talking about the classical mason jars that have the bayonet twist on them. They say mason on them. Those are the ones I use to make my oil lamps out of. When I did the cotton wick on it and stuff, they just got the quarter turn and they lock, or eighth turn. They still have the rubber gasket on there. So if you drop an oxygen absorber in there with it, or a moisture absorber, it'll work. It won't be. You can't put liquid foods in it, because it doesn't. You're putting dry stuff in there. Yeah, it'll work for the spices and stuff really well. We got Buddy Gemini in the house. We got his Happy Inches little homestead in the house. Hey, Mary. And who else snuck in here? Looking back here, I think those are the new ones just came in.
I mean, I'm not that good of a prepper yet. I mean, like preparedness and stuff with food and everything, but I just came on to like better what I said to Southern Ohio. I keep pemmican, and but I also keep like the brick soups. Like you dry it, you pour the soup, heat it over water until it becomes condensed down. Put that in like the air fryer and harden it. They use that in like the 1800s, and all you do is just drop it in boiling water, and it re-evaporates into a soup, and you mix your pemmican and stuff in there. And what I was saying about the beans and rice and stuff, like those are my main staples I keep. But everything else I keep, like what you were saying about the spices. Most of my prepping is going to be spices, like different spices for the same stuff. But most of my food preps is living stock, like chickens, rabbits. I know y'all are going to call me disgusting for doing it, but guinea pigs.
It's not disgusting. I ate guinea pigs before. It
Right.
comes from Chile.
Yeah. And I do guinea pigs. Right now, I have what we have out here. We have wild pigs called I forgot what the name of them are, but they're little tiny pigs, and I've captured about 4 of those, and I breed them for myself. And right now I'm working on, because we can capture axis deer out here because it's an invasive species of deer. You don't need a hunting license for it. So I've created a live trap for them with a deer feeder, and they have 16-foot fences on it with a dome over it. So whenever they come and eat, I try to drop the trap on them, and I try to get, at least a few females, and I'm trying to get a buck so I can have a constant supply of venison with me also. But I mean, most of my food storage, I don't have the time to or the space for a major food supply. So
No problem. Let me show you something in second star real quick. I got to get up. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, he's getting it.
Fine.
I'm going to throw something up here for you guys. Something I came across here. All right. He's out there. All right. Let me go first.
Okay. That's my portable. Oh, Lord, that weighs 50 pounds.
You okay over there, Uncle Al?
That's my portable food storage for apartments. It weighs about 50 pounds. It has all the stuff I need already in there. It's easy to pack. No canned foods, please. No jars. It's all dry-based foods that you can buy at the grocery store and just pack it. And I do have oxygen absorbers.
Uncle Al, that does have wheels on it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm old.
I have canned storage. I have canned storage, but it's just like 3 rolls of those roll down, like they sell at a grocery store. You grab one can and it rolls down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only have 3 rows of those, but they're like my main vegetables, like green beans, corn, and I love spinach, so I keep spinach with it. So those are like
good for you.
All right, guys. I want to move on here to something else I had planned here. Let me throw up a.
Got to get off here. I was just
okay. All right. Thanks for coming up.
Hey, no problem. Thank y'all.
All
Bye.
right. Now, if any of you saw my video with the jumbo straws about putting, salt, spices, cinnamon, peppers, whatever in it. This is argon, and you can get it on it. This is the Amazon page. It's $15 for 1 can. A 4-pack is only $50, so you're saving $10 by going for the 4-pack, and it drops down a little bit more for the 12-pack. But cheaper than this is the right one here. Come on, there we go. This one here, and this is basically, if I look on it here, find it again here, it is. Okay, it's a balanced mixture of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and argon. So it displaces the oxygen, and
is that a fast freeze then?
no, it's not a freeze. You're just basically, like, if you have a bag of stuff, you put it in there, and like if you have a bag of sugar, and you don't want any of the stuff in there or whatever, you can put the tube down to the bottom. And slowly, so this disperses all the air out of the powder. You don't blow it so it blows dust everywhere. You just go just a little at a time. Or if you're like macaroni and I got macaroni or spaghetti, and you want to get all the air out of there, you can put it in there and squirt it so it displaces all the oxygen and replaces it with the argon, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide mix.
Oh, you took all my fun away. I was going to have the neighbor put a can and stick it in the bottom and tell her just go to heck with the can and watch it explode everywhere. Dang.
Oh, Dave.
Hey, come on. I've got a migraine headache and I'm sitting there. I got to do something to make some fun out of something here.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to be laying on the floor crying in about 2 minutes. So,
Hey, WD Glock and Roll. So, yeah. So there are a lot of things. Now we're going to get to the interesting part of the shopper beware. And so I know Uncle Al's just wanting to comment on this first one here.
oh God, I'm going to close my mouth and close.
All right, I'm going to go bring this back up here. And so basically what I did is I picked out, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the major companies I could find that offer package deals on their food storage stuff.
On the buckets.
On the buckets, the cans, whatever. And so this is Wise Company. And Uncle Al has some information he's picked up on that.
Okay, about a year ago, they got busted because a lot of their products are not up to par. Somebody recently bought one of these discount buckets at a discount house and got food poisoning. And they found the whole bucket full of salmonella. That's the authorities. I can't remember if it was Georgia or Louisiana, but that's Wise for you. They have a dishonest product. Do not trust it. If you see somebody who has this, either dump it or get rid of it. It's not worth the money. It's garbage.
Yeah. We tried a couple of their packets of they came in like bags. I thought they were like another company which I trust wholly, and I thought it was it's like add water cooking. No, it's not add water. It's add it to a boiling pot of water. You can't cook it in the pouch like some of the other companies advertise you can. But they have these kits here. And let's see if I can enlarge this a little bit so it looks a little bit better, so it's easy to see. Okay, no, I don't want to chat, guys. So they got these, they list theirs as servings. They don't say how many months it is. Now, the thing is, though, what you're getting is a mixture of buckets that may have stuff in there that you don't want to eat.
And there's another key issue with these. I'm going to bring it up before you go too much further because it applies to every single company that does these. And mind you, I have a bunch of it because I got some from 4 Patriots.
Yeah.
They list it as servings per container. But when you look at the servings per container versus calories given, I'm not talking about the salt or other stuff. I'm talking just right now about the calories given. The average person in a grid down situation will burn anywhere from 29 to 4,200 calories per day, which means
you're out there working all the time.
One bag of those by yourself a day. Okay, if not 2 bags of that stuff, just to keep the calorie content the same. You're also going to be sweating, which is why those are loaded with salt. Not very good for your heart, but that's why it's in there.
All right, and WD just fired off a joke. He says, give the Weiss food to the marauders. Let them get sick.
That works for me, too.
Okay,
but I have to agree with Dave up there. The calorie count on these things on Wise, it's anywhere from 1,200 to 1,600 calories per the meal. That's worse than the people in the concentration camps that World War II got for food.
Yeah, I got one of the companies here that has one of the tabs we're going to look at that has a chart, and we're going to look at the calories they say on the chart, and you're going to go, I don't believe that. But yeah, so anyways, the one we had Wise food I talked about, it comes in a pouch, and we thought it was going to be we could take backpacking, and it mentioned it's for backpacking. The problem is you got to take along your pots and everything else to measure out everything. It's not just like the company I'll be listing last, which you can just add the water to it in the pouch, stir it up, seal it, shake it a little bit, let it sit for a minute, and eat it. All right, so the next company I have on here, no, don't want that, is Thrive. Thrive, I've heard good things about. It's got some good things as far as it. Now, most of their stuff is in the number 10 size cans. Let's see, and they got a lot of neat stuff, a lot of different cans and stuff. right, come on. It's acting up. Okay, so you can buy your fruits, your vegetables, dairy, meat proteins, sauces, bases, everything. They got all sorts of neat stuff in there.
They're kind of
They-
spendy.
They're an economical one, but they also do have the full kits. If you're going to buy from these guys, I get emails from them, and so when stuff goes on sale, we look at it to see if we want it. But even still, and generally over this stuff here, we, we're not, in the hurry to buy from these guys either.
Right. Will, you had a comment on what? Thrive?
Those are kind of spendy, I think.
Yeah. Well, actually, they're cheaper than some of the other ones I'm going to go through here. Now, this is a newer company out here. I haven't had a chance really to dig into them. I just found them today. But they say their food has a 25-year shelf life. They got kits. They got a long-term kits, 72-hour kit worth of food, and those look like that comes in the number 10 cans. They got, you subscribe for monthly auto ship of stuff, so you get a little at a time. I bet you on a subscription you save. That's the only company I've seen that's had that on there. But their products, long-term food kits, they got a bunch of different choices here to go through. And so, you can buy more buckets or the cans, and you use buckets upon buckets. 1 year supplied freeze-dried food kit is like $2,200. But if you look at it, you may find there are several of those buckets in there you don't want. And so far, I've not found a company that is willing to swap stuff out for you. Say, I don't like this. Can we swap that out for something else? You may have better luck in getting a company to do that.
I doubt it.
Yeah, the next company you're going to look at here is Legacy. Now, let me blow this one up here because this is interesting.
Okay, while you're doing that,
There we
Kathy,
go.
you had a comment?
Yeah, it's just back on Thrive Life. I got a certain amount of them that I can just keep on the shelf, and that's kind of like I figure that I have my short-term food, my mid-term food, and my long-term storage, that type of thing. Long-term, I'm looking at, 5, 10 plus years, whatever we need. Mid-term is anywhere from 1 year to 5 years. And then my short term is like what I'd have in the freezer and the refrigerator and stuff like that. But I did get some Thrive Life to have as my long-term plan. So that's sitting out there. And, I've tried some of them, but it's so much better for me to buy the individual containers so that I can create my own meals with them however I want. And it's a lot cheaper than doing the kits, but anyway, so that I've got a variety of vegetables, I have a variety of fruits, I've got a variety of meats, different things like that. So that was more effective for me. And also just over like a year's time or something, just looking at all the sales, especially if you're a consultant or something, you can get something for 50% off and really save a lot of money that way. But anyway, my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's what I like about when I get the emails from them, they list the stuff that's on sale, where they've overstocked on something, and it's like, okay, that one looks good. All right, back to all right. So Legacy, here's the interesting. They list them, Wise, this other one called Food Insurance Company, eFoods Direct, Daily Bread, and Indian Farmer.
Yeah.
Okay. And they list, how many how many servings in this particular package or kit. Basic 3 month storage, 1 year storage stuff. Here's what I found interesting down here on the total calories. For 270 servings of Legacy, it's 267,000 blah, 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 calories. For the same number of package servings of Weiss, it's 90,000 calories less.
Wow.
For a 3 month of the food insurance, it's just a little bit less than the Weiss. But it doesn't tell you, like I said, these two don't tell you what that's supposed to be, how many months and servings. But down here, the next one, average calories per serving. Legacy, 370 calories per serving. Weiss, 240. Food insurance, 220. E-foods, 180. Daily bread, 224 calories per serving. Indian foods, 171 calories per serving. So basically, and it lists the cost per calorie per 2,000 calories, and it breaks it on across. So I'm going to do this right now here, guys. I'm going to grab this. Come
It's
on.
a lot cheaper too.
Legacy. Come on, go back. I want it. I don't want that. I want this. Hang on. Oh, good. It's highlighted now, so I can take that and see if it'll fit in the. Is it going to fit? It went in. Yay! I think it was over to 200 count because it's a link. It chopped it down.
Okay.
So there's the link for this comparison one there for those that want it. And yeah, so I think it was kind of neat that Legacy put themselves out with the others there, and they match up fairly well. I mean, they run the cost per 2,000 calories, and they seem to be one of the better ones stat-wise. Now, I noticed the two other major companies they don't list to compare them against. That's Thrive and the last, actually three. Thrive, the next two I'm going to go to. So let's go to the next one here.
Gil, I have a question.
Yes.
Legacy, are those like all prepackaged meals?
Let's go back here to Legacy, and
Are they full meals?
Let's take it back up to their.
If I'm not mistaken, Legacy also has the 10-pound cans as well.
Yeah, bulk.
I think they do also.
So here comes the bulk meal packages, and they're in the. They have it in the big cans. They have little pouches. It looks like I got a bunch of little pouches inside a bucket for some of these. Let's see. Survival gear. Yeah. Scroll down here, see what all they have here. It looks like they're they got the buckets, but the buckets are full of smaller packets, so you don't have to crack open the entire bucket. You open the bucket and you pull out the packet you need to use.
Okay.
That's what it looks like there. So the next one here is Augustine's Farms. We've gotten some of their stuff, and it's pretty good. They have it.
I've got a couple of their buckets.
And they got it in the number 10 cans here. They got stuff going on, and they put it out the sale. But if we go back up here to their food storage, as you see, drop down there, they got dairy, egg, cheese, milk, breakfast, soups, entrees, bakery, gluten-free, drink mixes, meats and proteins, complete meal kits, grains, beans, rice. They got pail bundles, so you can get it in besides the cans. Come on, let's go. There it goes.
Augustine Farms has the most diverse variety of stuff that's sellable.
Yes, they have a lot of stuff out there. You can actually get them through Sam's Club and Costco as well. So
Yeah, I got mine was I just watch until they go on sale, and then I get them on sale.
Yeah, so they got the bump that up. Yeah, they got the square buckets.
See you, Howie.
Hey, Howie, take it easy.
Hey, Howie.
Good night.
Bye, Howie.
Yeah. So another thing I like about these square buckets over the round buckets, it packs nice and tight.
Yeah, just stack nice.
Okay. So Yeah, so they are probably one of the better ones out there. I haven't tried a lot of their stuff. We've gotten a couple of things from them, so I can't speak to it. Any other guys use this a lot or used them before?
No. And
The
those
only
are
person I know that uses it a lot is Alaska Prepper.
Alaskan Prepper.
freeze dried.
Those are what? Freeze dried.
Yeah, these are freeze dried.
Yeah.
I think
So-
Mrs. Sincere used to do that, but I don't know if she's still on the air or not.
Like I said, I only have a few of them, but I watch for them to be on sale.
So yeah, they got it looks like they got a variety of different package deals, not just 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. They got the breakfast ones, they got dinner entrees, so you can go with what you want. That fruit and vegetable, kits and stuff like that. But the next one I'm gonna go to here, guys, is Mountain House. Now, before anybody jumps on Mountain House, I've been using Mountain House since before I was married. I've had some of their freeze-dried meals. No, most notably, my favorite one of theirs is the spaghetti. Over 20 years old, cracked it open at Scout Camp, and it was as good as the first one I got on the same, it was the same one of it.
That's what I
Yeah.
used on ours when
Yeah.
we were in Scouts was Mountain House. They do
Yeah.
have good food.
Yeah, and when my Scout troop used to go get stuff, they had their choice of all the other ones. Always, every time, Mountain House, because they liked the flavor of it. The chili mac is also killer too.
Ice cream sandwiches are good.
Oh, yeah, true.
I,
But yeah,
I have a problem with macaroni and most of those dishes. So the chili macaroni and cheese. And
Yeah,
stuff
I know
like
you have a
that.
problem. But you see, they come in pouches. They come in the cans. The pouches come in different sizes. They come in 1 servings, 2 servings, or 4 servings. So, and some of our scouts, the big scouts that were, 17 years old, are going to eagle out and stuff. They, buy their own. They get the 4 serving pouch. So the other ones who get the others, but they have they got all sorts of different ones. Different varieties of stuff here.
Right.
Really good. They got Yeah.
sorry, Gil. They're also changing the packages. If you move back up a little bit. Okay, the third one right there, that's the new packaging.
Yeah. So yeah, they're changing their packages from the good old fashioned standard here to a silver one. And actually, this here to me is a newer one because I have some of the old ones stored away.
Gosh.
But yeah, they also are doing the packages and in cases, cardboard cases, as well as putting the cardboard cases with 6 number 10 cans in it and stuff as well. But this this one here is a square cube package of the these bags in it. But they got comes in a lot of different varieties of stuff. They don't have it on here, but at Costco they would have on sale a rectangular bucket, kind of about the shape of one of the kitty litter buckets, that would have 72 hours worth of meals for 4 people in it. And so, but once again, these are listed at like 330 calories per serving. So if you get a 2 serving thing, you got 600 calories, which is it's not overall it's not much, but it's better than some of the other ones. Twice.
Better than
You could eat
a
a
steak.
couple of them over the course of a day to get what you needed.
Yeah, and the thing is, we always use them for backpacking, and some of the ones and stuff they were filling, and they did us for the other week out on Scout Camp.
Okay, I want to address something real quick. Most of those videos that you see people dehydrating raw eggs, don't do it. They do not turn. I tried it. It never made it to video because it doesn't work.
Nope.
Now, if you want to store eggs, hard boil them, and freeze dry them, you're going to have to bite the bullet and buy a freeze dryer, because then they can be powdered up by crushed, and then you can put them in your soups or whatever you want to put egg into.
Yeah.
Or if you need something to
Dave-
make pancakes with.
Dave, could you hard boil the eggs and peel them and then put them in just a regular dehydrator?
I wouldn't do it.
Not okay, even if they're cooked through.
Right, I still wouldn't do it. I don't like the way the texture is wrong. So
Okay.
I didn't even taste it. The texture was wrong,
Okay.
and it didn't have quite the right smell to it. Not like it was spoiled or anything, but it smelled more of sulfur than of egg. And we all know when eggs go bad, they start turning to sulfur smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you start smelling that sulfur, it's gone. It's garbage. I don't care if it is good. I don't care if it turned me into Superman. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, because when you smell sulfur, that means it went rancid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me go down, pull out of this here, back to here. Boom. So those were just some of the companies that the 6 major ones I found. But then off of that one, from Legacy, they listed some other ones that I didn't find when I did my initial web searches and stuff. And I know there's some other ones out there. But for bulk grains and stuff, I'm going to see if I can bring it up. I forgot to bring it up here. I apologize, everybody. I've got 800 pounds out in one of my cargo containers of the wheat from them. And it's...
You had 800 pounds.
Oh, yeah, I got 800 pounds.
He has a big family.
Yeah, it's just me
Okay.
and Charles over here. We're good.
Make sure I got typed it in here right before I show it up here. I don't want to show my mistakes.
That's all right.
Hey, it's better to show your mistakes because then everybody can learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I got it right here. Let's see. Wheat and grain, I believe it is.
Gil, I like your convention center here.
Huh?
I like convention center.
Yeah, the underground meeting room.
Yep.
We're in the back cave.
Okay, go back here.
Another nice thing too, folks, is if you get a dehydrator, you can save yourself a ton of money if you have a husband, boyfriend, girlfriend who hunts and likes to have beef jerky. You can make your own beef jerky pennies on the dollar compared to bought stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll be making
Check that one there.
because I am now out. I have no snacks in the house. I'm fiending. I need me some jerky.
Wheat and grain.
And
So
if
anybody living,
I'll put my
go ahead.
recipe in the Discord channel.
So anybody who has, let's see, I think Dave's over here someplace. Anybody who has beef jerky, send it over to Dave. That
Okay.
That
Wheatandgrain.com.
I see a whole bunch of finger dancing.
Okay.
I got excuse. I'm blind in one eye, and the other eye is kind of weak.
Dave needs meat.
Okay, it's not. Dang, I had it up here before somewhere. I just can't find it. Anyways, I got the if you find out on there where you got shows the big yellow bags of the wheat. That's the Green Bridge, Raising Flag. This is the wholesaler site. Dang it.
Which company are you looking for? Red Farm?
No, Wheat and Grain, I believe is the name of the company.
Hey, Writer Dust, in my cooking playlist,
Try something else here.
either the first or second video, I'm not sure which. I think it's the first video I did in my cooking playlist, where it shows mandarin oranges at the beginning of it, jerky. There is a recipe for jerky in there. And if you go for 7 hours instead of the 6 that I did it, you'll have a nice crisp jerky that is not gooey or sweet.
Let's see if it comes up here.
Send you all the
What do you
jerky.
think, Lou? I don't think that's what they meant. I live around a bunch as it is.
Augustin Farms also has bulk. Going down here, Montana. Oh, Wheat, Montana. Shoot.
It's another reason I want to move back up to where I used to live. One of the towns actually has a grain mill right there. You can walk in, plop down a couple bucks, and walk out with a couple big bags.
Nice.
Yep.
Will, you got a comment?
I'll let
All
you
right.
know.
Okay, I apologize. I can't find it. Let's see what maybe I can find a different way here.
Hey, Chick.
But all right, I'm going to throw this out. This looks good. I'm going to throw this other up here. So I just did it on images, but yeah, your bulk grains and stuff. Yeah. Oh, actually get it in the big, huge one over here, the big bags. But I can't. I'm surprised I couldn't find it. But yeah, you can get your different ones like Augustin Farms has the stuff just the buckets full of the grains.
One thing I've noticed on pretty much all these companies, for any of like the 2, 3, 4 month or whatever prepping packages, the big kits, they're all sold out. People are buying them up because they're.
We're not going to talk about the red dragon.
I'm not saying it at all. I'm just saying that they're.
I have important news.
You would?
You said I can't talk about the dragon, and I have important news.
You have.
Oh, well.
No.
All right. The guys on the chat up here on the panel can talk about it while I'm looking.
Okay.
Well, here's a nice new tidbit of information. Guess what? The U.S. is now up to 35 confirmed cases. How does that make you feel?
Did they bring those 14 back that they had in Nebraska?
How you come up with that number?
There is 35 in the U.S. Yes, that includes the 14 from the doomed Princess Diamond crashing into the ocean thingy.
I have
Yeah.
65 in Omaha, Dave.
What?
There's 65 in Omaha.
They're not being reported. I'm just talking about what's reported. I'm not
Those aren't
going into that
confirmed.
rabbit hole I went into today that it came out with covered with so much dirt that I had to go take 4 showers to get clean.
All right. Well, that's on which website is that on?
All of them.
It's on the
It's on Roy Lab. It's on
Hopkins.
Johns Hopkins, and it's on the third one.
Okay.
And just so you know, Cecilia, the red dragon is a coin I termed on my very first video about the COVID-19 thingy. I
Yeah.
called it the red dragon because it originated over where dragons were originated.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's actually made it to a few other YouTuber channels too. So
God,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. They have. Okay. Here, let me throw it up here for you. So yes, it shows the U.S. with 35. So I click on the U.S. It's going to jump slowly over to the United States. And where are the most? Okay, so in Nebraska here, it says there are 11 confirmed now from the Diamond Princess.
Mhm.
Chicago has 2. Wisconsin has 1. Boston has 1. Texas has 2.
And there's another cool little tidbit of information.
Yes,
There's
I
a
called
town
Omaha.
in California that is blocking the U.S. federal government and the state of California from transferring victims, because they are victims, to their city. They put up an injunction. West Covina.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know where West Covina is in relation to where you used to live there, Gil, but
West Covina, I believe, is down in L.A.
Yep.
okay, that's the city that put an injunction against the U.S. federal government because they were going to transfer between 35 and 50. Okay, where the
Yeah.
other numbers come from? To that
All right.
city.
Yeah. So we have 5 in. Scroll back over here to 5 in at Travis Air Force Base in Fairfield. South of Sacramento, there's 1. The numbers here aren't adding up for the total 35, guys.
Nope.
No, they're not. They got them somewhere. They're not saying where they're at
Yep.
because I'm
I
coming
can
up.
no tell. If I tell the information that I have right now within an hour, you guys will never see me again. No, it's no joke. The
I know.
information I got came from places where I'm not supposed to have access.
Yeah,
I should
Okay.
not be allowed to know what I know.
yeah. So basically, what I'm seeing here, adding this up, we got about 6 that are somewhere else that aren't on the map.
And they're going to keep quiet about it too.
And I'm
Actually,
willing to bet they're either down Los Angeles or
well,
they're out
here,
in.
let me tickle
Sure.
your let me tickle
in
your mood a
Omaha,
little bit
probably.
more there, Gil. The
Uh,
original filing in West Covina was to stop them from sending 70 people. That was the original filing. It has been since modified to 35 to 50.
yeah.
Okay, there are numbers here in the U.S. that are not being reported.
Oh.
That is the CDC and the U.S. government feeding us mushrooms.
Well, wait a minute. Let me check one other place here. Come on, give me Alaska, just in case they're hiding up in Alaska.
Don't
Nope.
forget Hawaii and Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's something else to check on. No dots in Hawaii, and I don't think anybody, if they were sick, would want to go to Puerto Rico. No,
It wouldn't be reported because there's no health care down there right now.
Yep.
They're still suffering from the hurricanes.
yeah.
That happened 2
Anyways,
years
that's
ago.
Red Dragon. So like Kathy said, I guess they people are getting nervous and buying up the
Mhm.
3-4 month kits and stuff.
A lot of people are racketeering those horrible
Oh, heck.
wise buckets. I mean, oh,
I was about ready to put my stuff up on for sale on eBay, and I'd be able to turn it around and get me all kinds of prepper stuff.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was,
WD.
I've got-
The government wouldn't be buying 3 and 4 month kits. They'd be buying yearly block kits and just sending them to areas to be divvied up.
Yeah,
If they were doing it.
I've got 10 totes. Each one is a 3-month supply. So I might be able to make a pretty penny in about another month and a half or 2.
Oh yeah, sell them.
yeah.
Get some
Turn
cash
around,
back.
buy fresh stuff after it's all over.
Exactly.
Because on,
Yeah,
on Legacy, where even though those ones that have not sold out, they're saying that due to extremely high demand caused by virus concerns, please allow 10 to 20 business days for shipping. So, so even.
Yeah, they're moving a lot. They're just having problems shipping it.
Yeah.
Another concern with the rapid production of non-perishable food and Mylar baggies is quality control checking, making sure that every single bag is properly sealed. And this kind of rush to produce and market and mass get it out exodus type stuff, there is a high probability that at least one out of every kit will have a bag that's not properly sealed and will either A, leak everywhere, or B, stink your house up to holy high. Whoo!
Yeah.
Because I actually got one of those bags once. Oh, God, it was a mess. It was a bag of pancake mix.
Wonderful.
No, not really. I opened it up on the floor. Charles came walking through and tracked pancake dust through the whole house. And I couldn't yell at him for it. I wanted to, though.
All right. Oh, sorry, Kathy. I just noticed a private chat message you sent me.
That was way back.
Yeah, I know. I just noticed that I was tunnel visioned.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, it's like here and in case anybody's new here and they see me going from here to here to here. I got 3 monitors set up. Over here, I got a separate computer that I'm running the YouTube that you guys are seeing out there, and that chat is where I type in a lot of stuff into. On the other one, I have my my shared screen over here when I throw up like the websites and stuff. That's on this screen over here to my right, and then I got my big 32-inch where I see the StreamYard studio on.
Yeah, but a lot of people who say they're preppers and buying stuff now aren't preppers.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready. I've been ready for a year and a half, so I'm just looking at people, kind of sipping my tea, and just laughing my head off because they're panicking.
Yeah, well, WD makes a good point here on the side. There are probably like local fire departments, local police, local city governments that are going, oh, we need to have a stockpile here and we should have had this a long time ago anyway. So we're going to use some of our reserves and get some food in here so we can maintain continuity of operations.
I've been hiding my face because I didn't want y'all to see me wearing my neck brace.
It's okay. Do what you need to do, Dave.
Yeah.
I'll just stay hidden. It's better
Yeah.
off that way.
That's no problem, Dave.
Yeah. Who else has $30,000 for food? Yeah.
Not me, but I wish you did.
Yeah, me too. Everybody
Hey.
here would.
If I had $35,000 to spare right now, I'd go out and buy a $20,000 underground wine cellar bunker and put $10,000 worth of food in and tell everybody kiss my butt.
Just make sure it's made by Atlas. There's some companies like in
The only place I would work
December.
with is Atlas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other
I don't
companies?
trust Rising Star. Rising Sun or Star, whatever it's called, actually had one explode because they put propane in it and it killed 3 people.
Yeah, it was in Texas,
Mhm.
and they had a propane leak from the water heater, and it went boom.
Yeah.
And I seen damages on that from YouTube. It lifted the concrete bunker 3 feet into the air, and they had chunks flying through the air. Concrete.
I think that was bad
And-
ventilation, huh?
Well, if I had $35,000, I'd be putting in a Willapini greenhouse out back here, and I'd be growing all my food.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
When it comes to food and storage and everything too, another aspect is don't forget to include things that can be bartered goods.
Key point.
And it can be a lot of things that you don't even eat. Like if you really don't like beans, buy up a bunch of beans, but have those for barter to say, hey, I've got a bag of beans here. Can I have a chicken or something?
Yeah.
Or whatever. So,
I can't remember who did it.
I've got
Somebody was talking
117
along that line,
people.
and she took Mylar bags and made trading bags. Sealed it. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I've got a number of those too, like with sugar and salt and different things that are basic things, even flour. Sugar and flour are things I really don't even use because I just don't make things out of that. So, but I do have that purchased up so that I can have those as trading goods. So.
Yeah, I have a tote. I don't with those rubber totes with the lid on it. Those little, I call them airplane bottles of alcohol. I don't drink, but it could come in handy for some bucks.
I like what Cecilia said here. She's doing liquor for barter, and I've always figured that that'd probably be a better idea, a good thing to do. But you want to get the 140 proof or higher, because 140 proof is 70% alcohol,
And that's good for medicinal purposes.
which is same as your rubbing alcohol. So if you don't barter it, you have alcohol to use for medical purposes.
Okay,
True.
that's good to know.
Yep, you take a drink, you pour a drink's worth on the wound, take another drink and tell somebody, all right, patch me up.
Yes,
Lord.
Cowboy Dave.
No, for
Yeah.
me, it'd take a whole fifth just
Sure,
for
you got some of this in your bunker.
Yep,
Don't drink it.
I got the. This is the 12-ounce bottle,
Yep.
and my daughter has downstairs the half-gallon of
People forget the little things. They don't think about it.
Perel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
toilet paper.
things in life that make the world go round.
Like toilet paper. I heard over from my friend in Hong Kong, somebody beat up somebody because they gave them money instead of toilet paper.
Well, did you hear what happened over there in China? No, it's not dragon related. Well, sort of, but not really. There were 3 armed thugs who went and stole $600 or 600 yen worth, which is 200 some odd dollars worth of toilet paper one night during a delivery. This was about a week ago. They were trying to steal toilet paper so they could market it and racket it.
Yep.
Black market.
They got caught.
And we won't hear from them anymore. It's China.
You won't. That's true. I mean, people don't understand what goes on over there. My biggest laugh is people say our cops are rotten over here. Hey, you ain't seen rotten.
Yeah.
Go over to Russia and do the crap you do and watch what happens to you. You will come out with a black eye or neck brace, broken ribs, broken fingers, broken toes, and that's if you make it to court.
And a bill of what you got to pay
Yeah.
them not to come back and finish the job.
I'd say you come out lucky too
If you come out in Russia, if you come out alive after being arrested for doing something stupid like some of these people do over here, if you come out alive, consider yourself fortunate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. One last thing I'm going to say it again. What I said earlier. The Sharpie pen is your
Not
best
listening.
friend when you're marking your food boxes and cases and everything up. Because even though it has the stamp on there of the date on it, you move as you're rotating food, that could get rubbed off the, whatever. If the stamp date is on the top, write it on the bottom as your backup. Because there's nothing worse than having a can go into the wrong cycle, go back, and also you open it up and it's whoa.
Yeah, but also remember one other thing too, folks, is cans with high acidic content stuff like tomatoes or some
Pineapple.
green items. The can can actually start to separate at the seam. You won't know it. It'll still be good, and you'll think it's great food. I opened up a can of beef that you buy at Walmart, and it's really good stuff. I really like it, and it still had 6 months to go before it was expired. I opened up that can, and everything inside was rancid because of a small little pinhole leak in the seam. It started to rust and turned everything inside black.
Yeah,
I about threw up on the counter when I got it. And it's just a serious thing. I would not do that personally because you're introducing the possibility of bacteria that can be very dangerous to your health into an austere environment.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you plan on washing them and everything, but until you get them washed, that's a chance for bacteria to spread like the wildfire.
Yeah, Cecilia has a good point here on toilet paper. If you run out, cloth towels. Hey,
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I thought saying is that if you have babies and stuff, and we had cloth diapers because the cost of disposable diapers got so prohibitive the one year, and I was raised in cloth diapers.
That's what's wrong with him.
Will was raised in cloth diapers. Uncle Al, Dave, I got news for you, Dave. You were raised in cloth diapers.
No, actually, I wasn't. My mom and dad bought Pampers.
Oh, he must be a millennial.
Not hardly.
You must be younger than we are, though, Gil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I done past the half-century mark. Okay, thank you.
He got the first pair of Pampers.
Probably.
Could be.
But we lived in Detroit, and in Detroit was one of the marketing hubs for a lot of places. Every major city is a marketing hub when they bring out new products.
Yeah.
Detroit, LA, Dallas, and Chicago, and New York are where they send new products to be tested among the populace in the first place.
Yeah.
Detroit, not so much anymore because hell, there ain't nobody there.
True. Celia, if you wanted...
One of the things I have stored, in place of wipes and possibly toilet paper and everything too, is what they call coin tissues. And I'm going to actually put a link here. People
Are you talking that funny thing that sent Canadian prepper into YouTube stardom? He did a video.
Probably, yeah.
The little teeny
kind of
towels that come in a round thing. They're about the size of a quarter inside a package.
Yep, and they're about maybe a quarter of an inch high or something.
Oh, yeah, you talk about pucks. Those little hockey puck things.
Yeah, they're just little itty-bitty things. You can get a box of 500 of them.
Yep, and all you do is get a little bit wet and they go poof.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a fourth of a cup of water or something at the most, eighth of a cup or something. And you've got this really nice size towelette, big, nice wipe, and you can use it for quite a while, like on your hands, your face, wiping up your kids and that kind of stuff.
I think I got 500 of them laying around here somewhere.
Yes, they do need water, but I mean, we're hoping
Very little
we have some
water,
water too. But I'm thinking of, the box itself is only like this big, and so you have that in comparison of having, tons and tons of cases of toilet paper, or all these bags of wipes, that you can have these little things, and you can throw some in a baggie, put them in your bug out bag. You can have all kinds of things. They just store compactly, and that's just
There's two questions inside chat. Mama Z, you talking about me? I am somewhere hiding deep inside an underground bunker in the south part of Ohio. And Cecilia, I actually am fortunate. I have a creek that runs right next to my apartment building. So
Yeah.
I've got water.
Yeah. So she was saying, but they need water to do it.
All right. I'm old school.
but not that much.
Hey,
Not
you wanna
that
know
much.
something? It may sound a little disgusting, but you know what? They'll rehydrate with human spit too.
Yeah.
You
True.
get desperate enough, you'll spit on it, hydrate it that way, and then use it. It's
But
better
they-
than not.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
so
If
small.
need be.
Throw a couple in your purse.
That way.
You
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
That way.
I put this up. I'm sorry, but every time I see that thing on Facebook where they put out the ad for this stuff, the Forever Roll. It's supposed to last a month by Charmin. I mean,
Well,
they're
in my house, it
giant
would last 2 months.
rolls.
Excuse me.
Is that simply to reduce the amount of the core cardboard thing?
No, it's just a marketing ploy, in my opinion.
I'm not sure
anyway.
what the marketing ploy is on it, other than you'd have to change your rolls only once a month.
Lord.
It's aimed at the how do I want to put this? Not the X generation or the Y generation. I don't know which generation it's aimed at. Of the I can't be bothered with changing the toilet paper roll.
The lazy generation.
This is the Z.
The L generation, the L generation.
Z as in
A
zebra.
lazy rustic traditions. Yeah.
Oh,
So
Lord.
I get. Oh wow! So they have a 12-inch roll and a 13.2-inch roll. When is the 15-inch roll coming out?
Next year at a supermarket near you, a 22-inch roll. You can use it for a spare tire on your car if you need to.
You
That's
probably
just get ridiculous, folks. Do old school like Uncle Al does.
Or-
Buy a lot of corn cobs.
Nope.
No.
Not going to happen. No.
Remember, I used to use an outhouse. So a lot of corn cobs, people's going to know it. Uncle Alan's secret, soak it in lanolin.
The old telephone books and old catalogs. Sears
Just watch out for
catalog.
them paper cuts. Them paper cuts will be murder.
That's why you wad it up first and flatten it back out so it's softer so you don't get cut.
Yeah,
When's
sure.
the last time you seen a Sears catalog? Everything went digital.
1982 was the last time I seen a real Sears catalog.
Right,
About the same time I saw a Spiegel catalog and a Montgomery Ward's catalog.
right. But like I said, I'm old school, so I'm going to soak up a lot of corn cobs and lanolin, and it's
I
going
would-
to be $1 a piece if you want to wipe it up.
Hey, Al.
All right, go out. Here
Here
you go. Here you go. Oh, you got to have this with it.
Yeah.
No, I'd rather use cattail. It's already soft. And I got a swamp just north of me, about half a football field that's full of them every year.
Okay.
Well, there you go, Dave. You can make your flour and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be fun. Have a bunch of cattails in the bathroom.
Hey, if I harvest them before the neighbors, you all have something to barter for them.
True.
Oh, you can't wipe your booty? Oh, you poor little baby. You got some food? I got something to wipe your butt with.
But also the nice
Right.
thing about the corn cob with lanolin, it makes a wonderful torch. Put it
Mhm.
on a metal pole and it'll light up.
So does cattail.
I'm gonna bring out a story here since you're on the toilet paper thing.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Now we did it.
This is interesting. Okay, back in 1971, we were living in Southern California. The Sylmar earthquake hit, and everybody freaked out. My mom went to the store to get normal things because we were at, it wasn't that bad. I mean, no windows broke. The only stuff that broke fell off the bookshelves. All right. She went to the store. There was no toilet paper. There were several other things. There was, toilet paper. I forget what else. Paper towels. Stuff gone. After that, she started stockpiling whenever it was on sale, whenever she had a coupon for it, toilet paper. She had we had a couple of those 30 gallon cardboard barrels you see in the old movies, with the metal lid on it, stuff that bounce around when the cars run into it and stuff. She had a couple of those, and she packed those full of toilet paper. And it only took her about 6 months of buying it on sale with the double coupon and all that stuff to fill it up. So we never worried about running out of toilet paper in our house for quite a while.
Yeah, see, I see a big drawback for parents with little children and them super massive rolls. It gives the child a lot more ammunition to run through the house.
True.
The little teeny roll, they're done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That 13.5-inch roll, 2 hours later, they're still pulling TP off the roll.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to get that kind of roll in the hands of teenagers TP in your house either. That could
No, Lord.
do some damage.
You could not throw that roll.
They had that one teenager that had that toilet paper thrower that threw the toilet paper out on the line.
Oh, it's easy. All you need is a leaf blower.
Right.
Stick, and you hold the toilet paper out and you take the leaf blower and you blow at it and it just shoots it for you.
And
You ain't got to do nothing. You just stand there and it goes for you.
But the drawback to that is all the neighbors hear that leaf blower out there going.
That's why you get a battery powered one. They're a lot more quiet.
Not that much.
Okay.
Oh, I know that, but they don't. These young kids are stupid. They watch these dang TV commercials and they're made dumber every day. Then they go to school and the school says, "Don't worry, you'll be okay. You don't have to get good grades today. They're going to give you everything when you turn 21. It's all yours for free today."
I got a signal on my camera. Everything turned orange for a second because my rotors are overheating, so that's a warning sign. It's been nice chatting with you guys and Kat and Kathy. I'll catch y'all guys later.
Thanks.
Well, Dave.
Anthony.
Hello.
Bye.
Anthony's out there, Gil.
Anthony, where you at? Up. New comments. Scroll down. There he is. You had a great day. You've been out and about since 6 a.m. Woo! Yeah, we were covering a lot of good stuff. We talked about canning, all sorts of canning, and you would have had fun up here on the pressure canning.
Talking about everybody's canner going.
And actually, I know, Kathy, you've done pressure canning, right?
Yes.
Okay. What
she still has a kitchen, so she hasn't had any explosions yet.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I don't have any explosions.
Let's see what just happened there. Boom, boom. There it went. So water bath.
Take care.
To wind it up here, water bath versus pressure canning. Tell us about it. I've never done pressure canning. All I've done has been done water bath all my life.
Okay. Well, first of all, you can't do any low acid foods in water bath, like any of your vegetables. I mean, tomatoes you can, but that's it. But you can't do any of your vegetables or meats or anything. Has to be pressure can. I prefer pressure canning, and I even do my tomatoes in the pressure canner. If there are fruits that will take 30 or 40 minutes in the water bath canner, I'll just throw them in for 5 or 10 minutes in the pressure canner. It takes far less water, takes longer on the stove, so I'm not using as much gas, all that kind of stuff. But water bath is convenient in the way that once it's boiling and you've got your jars in there, when they're ready to come out, you can just take them right out and then put a new batch right in. So the turnover time is much better with water bath, whereas pressure canning, you have to wait for the canner to depressurize, and then you have to take everything out and then start it all over again. So there's a little bit more of a process, but it all depends on the food that you're doing. If you're doing fruits and jellies and jams and stuff like that, then definitely water bath. But anyway, otherwise pressure canning is great. I really like it.
Anthony says he likes pressure canning more than water bath.
Yeah.
I do. It's easy. I don't have to tend it as much, And once I get the right temperature going and the pressure and everything, then I can just kind of let it go, and then when it's done, just turn it off, and then come back 45 minutes later, open up the canner, and take stuff out. But yeah, the water bath canner is so huge, and then all that water, it's it's a
So
little.
what would be better if you wanted to do like meat?
Oh, meat has to be done in pressure canner.
Has to be done in pressure canner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Usually 75 minutes for pints and 90 minutes for quarts. And that would be the same as if you're doing a soup that has meat in it, or a stew or something like that.
Mhm.
All that has
I just want somebody to make me some good old fashioned split pea with ham soup.
Now, we when I grew up, we did water bath. We had 3 rows of blackberries, 125 feet long were the rows, and we had blackberries, and we had, I don't know, 60, 70 quart jars of blackberries. We'd can blackberry jam, and then later on we would can pears and peaches. And my mom got tired of doing quart jars for the pears, because we went to a pear farm and we got, I don't know how many flats of pears. My brother and I got tired of peeling all the pears. So she started doing half-gallon jars of pears. And we had pears in those half-gallon jars, I swear, 10 years later, that were still good.
The only thing I hated when my mom canned was
Great.
snap peas. Because you had to sit there and snap the peas out of each one of the damn things. That was a pain in the butt.
Anthony,
yes,
on the water bath,
he's got some good points.
for most of our jams, they were the regular mouths. Oh, you're talking run it wide open. Sorry, I misread there in the small chat, the small lettering, the mischat. Run it wide. Oh yeah, you got to keep the water bath hot all the time. Yeah, so you burn it. Yeah, it takes a lot more heat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I made a mistake.
And you're right, Anthony, too, that it does not heat up the kitchen as badly, especially when it's 90 degrees in the summer, and here you're running, heating up, 8 gallons worth of water, and then running that for, steaming like crazy. It just, so the pressure canner is just a lot better.
Yeah, let me write this up here. All right. So, anybody in the side chat or on the panel have anything else they'd like to add?
2 spoons of sugar helps the medicine go down.
I've started in the last year experimenting more with actual meals in canning, pressure canning them. Like I did like a sweet and sour chicken. So it's got pineapple and chicken and the whole sauce and everything in there. And what I do is, typically these meals you need to have like add a thickener like flour or cornstarch or something like that, and you cannot can it with that thickener in there. So what I'll do is I'll take my my permanent marker, like Gil was showing before, but I'll write on the lid to say not only what it is and when I canned it, but it's like add 1 teaspoon of flour or whatever. I usually use arrowroot powder, but so like add 1 teaspoon when preparing it or something like that. So when I pick up the jar, because a year later, 2 years later, I am not going to remember at all what I'm supposed to do with that particular thing. So so anyway, I'll write the instructions right on the lid.
Okay, got a good question here in the side chat here from Jeffrey. How long would frozen cooked pears last in the freezer? Any info would be appreciated. All I know is for sure it depends. That you'll get more longevity out of it if you have liquid in there with them to displace any air,
as well as crystal structures.
Crystal structures, yeah. And so basically you keep it from getting freezer burned if you have liquid in there with it. I know that.
Nowadays when you go to buy bulk chicken at Walmart or Sam's Club, wherever you buy, a 10-pound bag of chicken breasts, they're actually shipped with some chicken broth in there to help take some of the crystals off the chicken and into the, I mean, you're still going to get some, but not as much as if you put just regular straight chicken in there. You know, I can't explain it very well. I'm not very good at that part, but that's why they add a little extra water in there, is so it's got the ice crystals have something to grab onto. Plus, it helps keep the bag colder. If you want to store for a long period of time, my thinking would be I'd want it as cold as possible and not disturb it as much as possible.
Yeah. Jeff, Anthony says between 6 months to a year max for the pears. Now, if you have the money, you can do like Pennsylvania Prepper does and get yourself a freeze dryer and freeze dry them. But of course, then they become snacks and they just disappear because they're another one of those things that tastes delicious when it's been freeze dried. All right, Jeffrey, take it easy. Glad we were able to help out. All right, glad Anthony was able to help out.
Share me.
Yeah. Okay, and finally, for those that are still in here watching, I do want to do one shout out for a new channel I came across. She's been on YouTube for a while, like 4 or 5 years, but she only has like 56 subs. Homesteading in Idaho. She and her family and that are really cool, and they got some really funny videos. Her husband and 2 boys, and they have some really nice stuff there.
They're up to 99 subs now.
Huh?
They're up to 99 subs.
99. Oh, good, because I shouted them out last night.
Yeah.
Cool. All righty.
Cool.
So guys, we're going to wrap it up here. We're over 2 hours now, and we need to get gone. And so we will see you all later. The next live stream that we're all doing is going to be Monday, and that's on Will's. Let me see. Let me drop this out of here. There we go. Will at Just in Time Prepping, and that'll be at 7:30 Mountain Time, 9:30 Eastern Time.
Go Will.
All right.
Yep, be on sanitation, you guys.
Sanitation. All righty.
All right.
So everyone, stay happy, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.